Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur. They can beat up everybody else.
However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or two before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's gonna become to beat.
The reason I embarked on this whole thing that I just went into is because he reminds me of Stevenson a little bit, Davis. Their styles are similar. They control the outside with the jab and counters. Good defense. Play it safe.
If you're not scared, it just makes yourself look scary.
So you're saying he should have just ate, didn't care about the next weigh-in?
Boxing professionals question Devin Haney's hesitation, while Roy Jones Jr. explains the challenges of managing weight and cautions that Keyshawn Davis's experience and distinctive style could present serious difficulties for Dion if the two eventually meet in the ring.
Right back at the top of this game, Devin showed that the weight loss was probably causing him to not have as good punch resistance, and it also probably wasn't causing him to have as much power or explosiveness as he has. He showed tremendous power, tremendous punch resistance in that fight against Norman, and for him to do that means that the weight was probably an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's going to be a very interesting fight, because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different. So when you got a guy that's different, and that's why I also said that he's not just back, he's different. You understand me? So when you got to have that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy. You can never capture.
Boxing professionals question Devin Haney's hesitation, while Roy Jones Jr. explains the challenges of managing weight and cautions that Keyshawn Davis's experience and distinctive style could present serious difficulties for Dion if the two eventually meet in the ring.
Daddy didn't know what the hell he was doing. I told you to go chase some goddamn chickens. I told you. You don't need to be able to pick up them feet and punch coming forward without falling over. Yeah, you fell in. Keyshawn ain't gonna fall in on your ass unless he want to. Yeah, Keyshawn can throw punches as he's entering mid-range and still keep his damn distance. And he can back up out of range if he needs to at the same time. He can go backward, forward, side to side, whatever, man, like some damn switches. Yeah, on the 62 and pop, baby. Yeah. Oh, he got that power, too. Oh, he got that power. All that, hey, clinching, hugging and stuff. He gon', I'm telling you, yeah, I already know, Bill, you don't want none of no damn Keyshawn. I know you don't want none. I know Dev will fight anybody. Dev crazy as hell. Yeah, that boy.
Keyshawn Davis claims that Devin Haney seems afraid to face him, pointing out that Haney repeatedly avoids direct communication and instead chooses to address any matters related to a potential fight only through Bill Haney.
He was like, oh, the business, man. Like, he showed me amazing love. And Devin Haney was just the one that just acted like he couldn't see me, which I knew, like, oh, you probably scared of me. Oh, you probably got something to her. I don't know what it was. But I never seen Bill show me so much love, and Devin didn't. Like, it was always like the same thing, but when it came to me, it was different. But now that is weird, because now it's like, damn. Like, I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, one time on Twitter, like back in, this like a little personal, but like he called me a B-word one time on Twitter. And I'm like, you grown as hell, why you even coming at a kid like that? But I'm like, all right, but I respect you differently now, you know? And ever since then, I just looked at them differently, like, okay, bet. When I get myself in a real opportunity, I'm gunning for y'all. Super gunning for y'all. And when I see him at the weigh-ins, I don't remember back then. I just remember him saying that.
Right.
But I see him at the
Bill Haney explains that many fans are now calling for a rematch with Ryan Garcia following his recent comeback and title victory.
I feel like maybe Devin hasn't responded to Keyshawn since, you know, the whole... He did say that he'll take Lil Bruh in any order, but...
Listen, it's me. I'm not paying Keyshawn no attention. You dig? Because listen, every time that I talked to him, I told him in his face, I said, you didn't have to fight this fight. You could have talked to me and we could have been making this thing happen, right? He told me, he says, I know. He said, I know. He said, I said, okay, I got you in the DMs. I got the DM on your word on it, right? I said, when you get through fighting, is Devin next? Do you want to fight Devin next? He said, yes. And then he switched over and said he wanted to fight Crocker.
I saw that.
Said, Crocker. I said, oh, yeah, I ain't with you. I said, I'm not with you ever again. Now, listen. I said, I'm not. I said, no, I said, I'm not with him. I said, no, I ain't with him, right? He went and did the brick. He did the brick. He went on the tear. I hit him in the DM. I said,
Bernie the boxer questions the level of influence Bill Haney has over matchmaking decisions and encourages Devin Haney to face either Keyshawn Davis or Shakur Stevenson if he truly wants to prove himself.
What the people want. The people were screaming that Ryan is back, that he had a hell of a performance. He has a belt. He's in the same division. Of course, if we went with Mario Barrios, they first, with our relationship with the WBC, everybody would have said we was cherry picking. You know what I mean? So the only splash that we could make, and just like you said all the time, is they want us to fight the tough competition, but that's why Devin is the vote.
If you fight Ryan, do you need him to be in 24/7, 365 testing? Is that like a no?
No. We just need him to test. It's not going to take 365 days to whip his ass. So we don't need him tested for 365. We just need him tested from now until when the...
Wade Plemons talks about Devin Haney repeatedly going back and forth with Ryan Garcia instead of putting his full focus on arranging a fight with Keyshawn Davis.
Devin fighting Shakur or Devin, or Keyshawn, Devin fighting either one of those guys, that's a turned up fight. Him, Tank, that's all that turned up. Feel me? Them is the fights right there. Them is the crest of the crest. People want to see turned up fights.
Obviously, Bill Haney's get lots of praises for his matchmaking lately. Obviously with the Terrence Crawford and Canelo, and obviously Devin Haney's career, right? But
he didn't have no matchmaking with that. He did put that bug in Crawford's ear, but that's it. How far are we gonna go with that?
They asked him what made you feel like you could move up to fight, Canelo, and it's
I said he put the bug in his ear. That's it. He just put the bug in his ear. That was it.
Wade Plemons. According to Timothy Bradley, Keyshawn Davis moves fluidly in every direction and possesses genuine punching power to complement his technical ability. Bradley noted that Keyshawn predicted he would stop Jermaine Ortiz and then went on to do exactly that in dominant fashion. Ortiz attempted multiple adjustments during the fight, including switching stances and changing his rhythm, but none of those efforts proved effective. Each adjustment was quickly countered as Keyshawn controlled the exchanges with precise timing and accuracy. Bradley stressed that this level of ring awareness and adaptability makes Keyshawn a dangerous opponent for anyone. He even suggested that the same relentless pressure and tactical sharpness could create serious problems for Devin Haney, explaining that Keyshawn carefully studies his opponents and understands their patterns before stepping into the ring.
Both guys are champions, unifying on the line, and they've been going back and forth on Twitter the last couple of days. It's been pretty crazy. Let's get into it. We have Ryan first off saying, Haney, if it's time to end you, it's time. You will be erased. I heard you speak in my name. If this is what you want, let's start discussions. Mark my words, you'll never fight again after this. So let that sink in and accept it before you say yes. Not just, hey, I'm going to smoke you again. Hey, you're not on my level. I'm going to beat you pillar to post. He said, I'm going to beat you so bad you never fight again. I'm going to erase you. That's the confidence level Ryan Garcia is coming in. Is that because of his performance versus Mario Barrios, or the performance versus Devin Haney, or just a combination of knowing what he did in the Haney fight and knowing how much better he's gotten since? I don't know.
Negotiations between Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis created considerable buzz throughout the boxing world. However, despite all the back-and-forth discussions, the fight ultimately never came together. Both sides spoke publicly about possible terms, and reports suggested that Keyshawn and Bill Haney even agreed in person that the matchup could take place. Fans quickly joined the conversation, offering predictions and debating potential outcomes while hoping the rivalry would eventually become official. Still, some analysts chose not to invest too much energy into speculation without a signed contract. They argued that modern fighters rarely generate the same level of anticipation that once surrounded the legendary buildup between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. According to Keyshawn, Haney appears hesitant when it comes to facing gritty and aggressive opponents.
Next one. Yeah, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to stop Ortiz's ass, and he stopped his ass. Shit. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than that. He stopped his ass. Keyshawn ran through Ortiz. shit. Ortiz didn't know what to do. Ortiz was like, ain't nothing working. Ain't nothing working. What can I do? Let me switch softball. Let me switch off. Bing, 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 bing. Let me go orthodox. Bing, bing, bing. Let me try to get in my rhythm. Bing, bing. Let me try to change guard. Bing, 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 bing. I mean, everything he did, it got taken away from his. And that's the same thing that's gonna happen to freaking Devin Haney. He get in there with Keyshawn Davis. Everything you do, I know your every move, Dev. I know your every move, Dev. Yeah, I do. I do know your every move, Dev. For real. And you don't think Keyshawn know it? Keyshawn sees it. He see what he can do to get your son.
He suggested that although Bill Haney previously showed him respect during his rise in boxing, Devin's attitude now feels distant and dismissive. Keshin even claimed that he directly approached Bill and asked for assurance that a fight would take place after he secured his victories. However, according to him, no formal offer was ever presented. He maintains that he would only move up in divisions specifically to fight Devin, emphasizing his confidence in that matchup. Despite the public exchanges and the growing tension between both sides, the proposed showdown remains unresolved, leaving fans wondering what truly prevented the fight from becoming a reality.
You literally seen Keyshawn and Bill Haney agreed to fight each other in person and all this type of stuff, and the fans start getting involved, putting out their own fight predictions, like, yeah, this would happen and I would favor this. You don't see me doing that, and there's a specific reason. I don't waste time. I'm definitely not lazy, but I don't believe in wasted energy. What's the point? What's the point of me wasting my energy and saying 1,000 words? There's 1,000 words that I could say. You know what I mean? Get my Justin Timberlake on, Ego Timberlake, saying 1,000 words, and then I never get a conclusion. What's the point of me putting out, if you notice my channel, I don't put out no fight predictions if it ain't a signed fight.
Bill Haney expressed frustration regarding Keshin's behavior, stating that he believed Keyshawn was simply trolling his son rather than seriously pursuing the fight. According to Haney, he made several attempts to reach out to Keyshawn in order to begin proper negotiations. However, he claims that Keyshawn never demonstrated genuine interest in moving forward. When Haney asked him directly whether he wanted to make the fight happen, Keyshawn reportedly avoided giving a clear response and instead told him to speak with Jay Prince. Haney interpreted that reaction as gamesmanship, believing that Keyshawn was more focused on creating attention and leverage than truly committing to arranging the bout.
Like, they don't want to smoke, and this is why, like I said, this is why I can't get invested in a lot of these new generations back and forth.
47. The only person I'm going to 147 for is Devin Haney.
Really?
If he'll just stay at 140, I was going to gun for him too, though. Not going to hold you.
Right. But what about Ryan Garcia? He's a champion with a big name. He just sold out.
He got a lot of speculation around his name right now. I'm not
what you
Garcia.
mean?
He got a lot of speculation. Like, shit. I just want things to be.
What do you think about his performance?
It was a good performance. Great one, actually.
So, he said if he goes to 47, it got to be for Devin Haney. But the problem is, after this interview was conducted, he talking about calling out Lamont Roach, and he's saying that he ain't heard from Devin Haney. So,
the situation became even more complicated because of Keyshawn's recent public antics, including his visit to the famous house featured in the movie Friday, which is a reference to Devin Haney's nickname Double Dev. Bill Haney felt that these actions suggested a lack of genuine intention to make the fight happen. Even when discussion shifted toward potential fights with other opponents such as Lewis Crocker, Haney believed that Keyshawn remained more focused on building leverage and increasing his market value rather than honoring any previous understanding to fight Devin. Bill Haney also pointed out the difficulties Devin faces when moving between weight classes, explaining that he could potentially move up to 154 pounds for a unification bout and later return to 147, which could position him to become a 4-division champion. Despite the exciting possibilities for major matchups, boxing politics continues to prevent many of the fights that fans want to see, leaving Haney frustrated but realistic about how the sport operates.
Keyshawn the Businessman Davis was just trolling about a showdown with his son, first ballot Hall of Famer, undefeated 3-division world champion, former undisputed lightweight, former WBC junior welterweight, and now reigning WBO welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Devin the Dream Haney. 33 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn Davis, 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn is actually, I think he's older.
Regarding the call-out of Devin Haney, trainer Ronnie Ellis offered his honest perspective on Keyshawn Davis taking on such a high-level challenge. Ellis praised Keyshawn's natural talent and determination, explaining that his aggressive style inside the ring reminds him of Nigel Benn, with constant pressure and intensity that can overwhelm opponents. However, Ellis also noted that Keyshawn's defensive abilities have occasionally looked vulnerable in some of his previous fights. He suggested that although Keyshawn's offensive skills are impressive, making defensive improvements would be essential when facing a highly experienced fighter like Haney. Ellis further emphasized that with only 14 professional fights compared to Haney's 33, gaining more experience in 12-round bouts would help Keyshawn better prepare for the endurance, strategy, and tactical adjustments required to compete at the elite level in such a high-stakes matchup.
Bill is saying now that Keyshawn, he's reached out to Keyshawn, and Keyshawn is not showing interest. Ask Keyshawn, do you want to begin negotiating? Do you want to make the fight happen? Said Keyshawn didn't answer. Then he responded to Keyshawn again and said, how are we going to work this out? What you need me to do? And Keyshawn is saying, talk to Jay Prince.
After stopping Jermaine Ortiz, who had never previously been knocked out, Keyshawn Davis confidently called out Devin Haney. While many people admired his boldness, analysts questioned whether the timing of the challenge was appropriate. With only 14 professional fights compared to Haney's 33, experience in long 12-round contests was considered extremely important. Facing a seasoned opponent like Haney would test not only skill but also endurance, strategy, and the ability to adapt during a fight. The significant difference in ring experience raised concerns about whether Keyshawn was fully prepared for such a challenge. Although he clearly possesses confidence and talent, analysts believe that gaining more high-level experience would better position him for a future fight against Haney.
Keyshawn's performance.
He did well, his style.
I can't hear you, Coach. Smash the like button, yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yep.
I said that particular style, Keyshawn remind me of, he looked just like Nigel Benn, Conor Benn's dad.
How so?
The style he was fighting, the way he was, he didn't look like his defense wasn't as tight when he was his previous fights. But he did, overall, he did good. He did good.
Right. Obviously a statement win. Jermaine Ortiz never been stopped, but at the same time calls out Devin Haney at the end of the fight.
An analyst recently discussed Keyshawn Davis and his confidence in facing opponents across multiple weight divisions. While Davis displays impressive skill and strong belief in his abilities, the analyst pointed out that moving up in weight always brings additional challenges. Fighters in higher divisions are typically bigger, stronger, and often more experienced, which can create significant obstacles. Achieving success at a higher weight class requires careful strategy, intense preparation, and the ability to adjust tactics during a fight.
I think he should get a couple more rounds in before you go at Devin Haney. But if you feel like he can take him, let him get at him. Let him get at him.
Are you looking at it more like that 12-round experience type deal?
Yeah.
Getting rounds in?
Get some rounds in. Get some rounds in.
When you listen to and then there's back and forth going with it too. Devin saying that he would like to fight the little brother before the big brother. You know, what's your thoughts on that? I think there was a tweet saying that Shakur, I don't want to step on Devin Haney's toes. I'm gonna let Keyshawn get Devin Haney. I mean, a lot of people had lots to say about it. They're saying that, listen, they're breaking.
An analyst recently discussed Keyshawn Davis and his confidence in facing opponents across multiple weight divisions. While Davis displays impressive skill and strong belief in his abilities, the analyst pointed out that moving up in weight always brings additional challenges. Fighters in higher divisions are typically bigger, stronger, and often more experienced, which can create significant obstacles. Achieving success at a higher weight class requires careful strategy, intense preparation, and the ability to adjust tactics during a fight.
Make 40 anymore, just like Jarambus Ennis couldn't make 47, and he moved up to 154. Now 54 is cracking. They got 54 out here cracking. Tons of names where you can mix and match the Funduras, the Virgil Ortiz, Jermell Charlo, possibly Errol Spence, Murtazaev, Boots, right? You got tons of ways you can mix and match these people. 47 right now is dry, so it's going to take Shakur's and the Keyshawns and Gary Antoine Russells or the El Rayos, different Edwin De Los Santos, Matias, different guys to move up to start to purge and fill out the division. Right now, it's not many options. Again, Devin versus Louis Crockpot is a terrible fight, and I don't know anyone that wants to.
The analyst further explained that although Davis's talent is undeniable, transitioning to higher weight divisions would test his endurance, timing, and ring intelligence against more experienced fighters. Each weight class introduces new dynamics, including differences in punch resistance, reach, and power, all of which can influence a fighter's overall effectiveness if not properly addressed. The discussion also touched on the long-anticipated fight with Devin Haney, which now appears increasingly unlikely to happen. Despite strong interest from fans, communication problems and logistical complications have prevented the bout from being finalized. Keyshawn Davis has openly expressed frustration, stating that Haney rarely communicates with him directly and instead handles everything through his team. This situation has further complicated negotiations and left the highly anticipated matchup uncertain. Ultimately, while Davis remains confident and highly skilled, moving up in weight and facing elite opponents presents a complex challenge that requires more than talent alone to overcome.
40 to 47, and he says he wants to fight Jermaine Ortiz and then move up to welterweight, which would be perfect because, like I told you, I really am the best in this business. Everything I say is like clockwork, right? It's amazing to me. Sometimes I amaze myself. So what am I talking about? I literally just said welterweight is dry. It's a stale, stagnant, horrible division right now. Not too many ways to mix and match the guys, and then the guys you could mix and match are pretty much busy. The Ryans, the Barrioses, and the Rollins, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And I told you it's going to require, this is how it works in the sport of boxing. I know because I've been.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.